العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we always honor one day within the week, and that day is known as Yawm al-Jum'ah. That's Friday, the day that we all come together. So it comes from the word of gathering, the day that you gather together. Just as you will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, known as Yawm al-Qiyamah. In this regard, we ask, what are the importance of this day? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has made us to understand that this day, the Friday, was the day on which our father Adam was created. And this day, that is Friday, is the day on which our father was put into paradise, or made to enter paradise. And this day, which is the Friday, was the same day that he was sent out of paradise. On Friday, he was sent onto this earth. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that the world shall not come to an end unless on a Friday. Due to the importance of this day, Allah had ordained unto the whole of generations from Adam alayhi salam to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to observe this day. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, "Nahnu al-akharun." We are the last of all generations. And we are going to be the first of all generations. And we will be the leading generation on the day of judgment. Because this was the day that was declared a day of feast, a day of congregation, a day that you have to come together, that you have to observe. But all other generations have gone astray, the Jews and the Christians. So Allah guided us on this day. So that the Jews follow us tomorrow, being Saturday, followed by the Christians on Sunday. So we say Alhamdulillah. Then we ask, what does Allah require of us on this day? He says in Surah Al-Jumu'ah, in the day that was named because of what? This day. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O ye who believe, idha nudiya lis-salati min yawm al-Jumu'ah. When the call of the Friday prayer is called, you hear the Friday prayer, which each and every one of us know very well when the time is for prayer. Hurry to the houses of Allah. Allah used the word hurry. فَاسْأَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ. Hurry, for Allah knowing very well that we may not go or we may not perform the Jumu'ah prayer for no reason than because of our worldly issues, either because of our work, whatever, it always gets back to what? To our worldly issues. So Allah says, فَاسْأَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Hurry to the remembrance of Allah, وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ, and leave all your trade, your business, your work. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. This is more better for you, if only you know. Then Allah continued by saying that, and when the prayer is over, فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Now you can go. Walk as slow as you want. You can hurry, you can walk, you can slow your steps, no matter. And seek from the bounty of Allah. So Allah has divided between going to the Jumu'ah and then after the Jumu'ah, how you have to behave. Because the period within the Jumu'ah prayer is very short. And this period carry a lot of good deeds, a lot of rewards that you can never get unless the one who prays the Jumu'ah prayer. So Allah is saying, hurry so that you don't lose or you don't miss that time. But as for your world, whether you work or you don't work, how much you work or how much you don't work, nothing shall come to you unless what is already ordained and decreed and written for you. That doesn't mean you don't have to work or you don't have to school or you don't have to do anything. But the difference between the two is what we are seeing now. Due to that, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam laid a format on how we have to behave when the Friday comes. He says, when Friday comes, any one of you should take shower. The shower is just like if you have intercourse. That is known as purification. Apart from wudu, we have washing for purification. We go through it very fast. You go into the bathroom. This applies to anyone who had intercourse with his wife. I don't know how you do it when you have it with your girlfriend. But I didn't learn that. When you have it with your wife, or you have to wash on Friday, purification, or the Yom al-Eid. First you go to the bathroom, wash your hands 3 times. Then you squat. And wash your private parts thoroughly. Meaning not 1, 2, 3 times. Make sure you wash it completely. Then you get up. And then you make wudu. Perform ablution once. Your hands, mouth, nose, all the parts of wudu once. Hands, mouth, nose, the face, the hands, wiping of the head and the ears, then your feet. After that, you open with open hands together under the water. You fetch water, pour it on your head. Use your fingers. Make sure you clean your head very well. You do that 3 times. That's when you are taking the bath, right? Then after that, according to the hadith, pour water on the whole of your body. And use your hands as much as you can to rub all parts of your body, except where your hands cannot touch. And this has purified you. Now it is understood. I used to explain sometimes because maybe some people will need it. So when you do this, and after that, you put on your best clothes, as mentioned by the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, means that the clothes should be clean. Then washing, putting on your nice clothes, use some perfume. Then after that, you leave your house, coming to the mosque. Every step you take, Allah gives you rewards of someone who had been praying and fasting for a year. That is only on a Friday. When you enter the mosque, before entering the mosque, all mosques have angels standing by their doors or gates. And they write, because they have registers of each and every one of us. Wherever you go, you can perform your Jumu'ah in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Africa, wherever, the angel is standing with your name on the register or in the register. So he writes for those who come. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has divided the period of Jumu'ah into 5 and said those who come on the first period, they will get rewards of like someone who had slaughtered a camel for the sake of Allah, when you have not even bought nothing. Just coming on the first period. Those who come second period, they get rewards of someone who has slaughtered a cow. Those who come the third period, they get rewards of someone who had slaughtered a lamb. Those who come on the fourth, they will get rewards of someone who has killed a chicken. But those who come the last period, the fifth period, they will have rewards of someone who has given an egg for the sake of Allah. So it's your choice. You either slaughter a camel or you give an egg. Remember, you don't do this with your money or with your what? With your effort. You do it by coming early. Then within the rules of Jumu'ah, when you come in, you say Salamu Alaikum. But before that, Alhamdulillah is written on the door. The dua you would mention before or you read before you enter the mosque. It's written in both Latin alphabets and also in English, the meaning. So you make this dua and then you first enter with your right foot. And when you enter, you say Assalamu Alaikum. This salam covers everyone in the mosque. If all reply you, it is okay. But if even one replies and the rest didn't say anything, they are not having any fault. Meaning it's fardu kifaya. If some say wa alaikum assalam, it is enough. Then when you enter, you also come and greet the mosque. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that anyone who enters the mosque should not sit until or unless he prays. He greets the mosque of praying 2 rak'ah. Then after the 2 rakah, you sit at your place. You either read the Quran, which is the best dhikr, or any remembrance of Allah. If you have to talk to someone, you talk about things that are useful. You don't talk about people until it's time for the Imam to come up. At that time, the angels will stop writing for anyone who comes. When the Imam ascends the pulpit, they close their registers, come and sit in the front row, and they are also listening to the Imam while he makes the khutbah. So anyone who comes after the registers are closed, he doesn't have anything. Then you listen to the Imam until the Jum'ah is over. We shall come back to this. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that anyone who hear the call of prayer on Friday, and we all hear because we have our time. We don't have to say that we have to hear by listening to the radio, or we have to see someone or hear someone like it happens in our countries. No, we have our time. Here you're not allowed to make the adhan, as we all know, but you make the adhan in the mosque, and we all know what time is Jum'ah, so there is no excuse. Prophet says that anyone who hear, that means when Friday comes and he doesn't attend. Then the second Friday comes and he doesn't attend. Then the third Friday comes and he doesn't attend. Allah will seal his heart and turn his heart into the heart of a hypocrite. Brothers, see how many of us are true believers. I don't know if I'm one of them. This is what we have to understand, that the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are words that are ordained by Allah and decreed by Allah and said that Allah has sent him. وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. He never said anything of himself. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Everything that is said by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a revelation. If you don't come 3 Jum'ah, Allah seal your heart and turn your heart into a hypocrite. And no one can play games on Allah. When Friday comes and he doesn't go, the 3rd Friday he makes sure that he comes. You don't play games on Allah. Allah doesn't need your game. Allah needs you on every Friday. Some of our people, when it's Friday, they say, oh, I'm working. Brother, Allah has given you 6 days within the week. Treat it the way you like. But when Friday comes, it belongs to me. There are so many brothers who will say that I cannot come because of my work, because of my studies, because of this or because of that. Anyone sitting here, or most of us sitting here, are working. And most of us sitting here are students. But because we love Allah and we love the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we've abandoned all. Not abandoning, but at this period, we have found time to come because it belongs to Allah and we need it. When you tell the brother that you can work extra during the week or after the Jum'ah, so that you cover that 1 or 2 hours that you need for Jum'ah, he say, my boss will kick me. Brother, Allah is saying, "Ma ana ma'a dhanni abdi bi, in kana khayran fa khayr wa in kana sharran fa shar." I, Allah, I am with the opinion of my servant. If he thinks good, I make it good. If he thinks bad, I make it bad. You are scared of your boss, but maybe your boss is more merciful than you. It does happen that you find in the West, people don't pray. Muslims, they don't pray at all. Then one Muslim will come, and when it's time, he leave the work and say, Allahu Akbar. After that, the boss will say, what are you doing? I was praying. Oh, okay. Then every time you can pray. It happens. Someone told me that in some workplace, the Muslims they don't used to pray. When they are at work, they're scared. Then one day, one brother came. He was also employed. Then at time of prayer, he told the boss, wallahi, this time of Jum'ah, I can't spare it. You can give me how many hours you want, but I need this 1 hour. He said, you have it. And you don't need to work extra. After that, he realized that the rest of the workers were Muslims. I would say were, because they were not praying. Then they all came. I have to go to Jum'ah. He said, no. my work will spoil. Why this one is going? Because he is faithful. He loves his deen. He can go, but you cannot go. Because you have believed that not going is your practice. So Allah has made it that way, that you can never get a chance. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Anyone who fear Allah in everything that he does, Allah will make for you a way. This is a promise of Allah. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. And Allah will give you all bounties from a source that you never think about. It's not to make jihad, brother. It's not to fight your worker. It's not to fight your teacher. It's not to fight anyone. It's to talk sense to them. If you have the opinion that Allah will support me, Allah will do so. Just as you make a contract with him to work for so and so hours, so it is. Make a contract. When Jum'ah comes, this is my life. And everyone knows that Friday is a special day for the Muslims. So you have to be a jihadi on your own self. The Prophet Muhammad says, Al-Mujahid man jahada nafsahu fi ta'atillah. The Mujahid is the one who makes jihad on himself that he can obey Allah. Then we ask finally, what do we have to do when we come to Jummah? As we are now sitting. The Prophet Muhammad says, there are 3 types of people who come to Jummah. So we are divided into 3. I don't know which one we belong to. In any case, you can choose after that. He said the first is someone who comes to Jummah and he only talks, play. He doesn't care whatever goes on. It is a period he has to observe in a particular place that is a mosque. He doesn't care. The Prophet Muhammad says, no rewards for him except what he has just done. The second is someone who comes after prayer, he raises his hands. Oh, Ya Allah, I have a problem. Ya Allah, this. Oh, Ya Allah, I need money. Oh, Ya Allah. Allah says that, the Prophet says that this one is a person who is what? He is a supplicator. He is calling Allah. He is seeking from Allah. If Allah wants, Allah gives him. And if Allah wants, Allah refuses. That is what? In the will of Allah. Then a third person is someone who enters the mosque. Brother, tell that brother, come to your position. I know that you went in the wudu, inshallah. I think they'll give you a chance. Someone who comes to Jummah and then he prays 2-unit prayers, greeting the mosque. Maybe he's praying extra. Maybe he's making dua. Maybe he's reading Quran. Maybe he's even teaching someone. Maybe he's learning from someone. And then when the imam comes, ascends the pulpit, he keeps quiet and listens to the khutbah. After that, he prays behind the imam. The Prophet Muhammad says that this person has 7 days forgiveness of sins plus 3 because Allah rewards every deed for 7. He is the one who has succeeded. He is the one who is victorious. So my respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the Friday is very, very important to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the most important day. And there is a time that all the doors of Allah are open for anyone who is seeking from Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned within the 6 periods that the time the Imam is ascending the pulpit. It is a very good time to ask your Lord. And then the other time is at the last period of Al-Asr of today. It's a very good period. The doors are open. And Friday itself is a very purified day. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, anyone who says salat unto me 1 time, you say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or you say Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammad. Or any of the siga you know. Allah will say it unto you 10 times. If you say unto the Prophet ﷺ 10 times, Allah say, always Allah multiplies by 10. And he says again that by my grave, there is an angel who has no work except that he has a register. In this register, it contains the names of each and everyone who say La ilaha illallah. And anyone who says salat unto me, the angel writes and say, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this person, the son of this person, is saying salat unto you. I get up and reply him before I return. These are the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And anyone who say always salat unto him, he has shafa'ah. He has shafa'ah means that Allah intercede in his favor on the day of judgment. Even within dua, if you make salat unto the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that will make doors to be open between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Islam has given us everything. All that we need is to carry the weapon of Islam, and the weapon of Islam is dua. Prophet ﷺ mentioned, "Ad-du'a silah al-mu'min." That dua is the weapon of the believer. So we have to make sure that everything that we do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praying in jama'ah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that anyone who for 40 days pray in the jama'ah, beginning with his first takbir to the end, and he does that for continuous 40 days, Allah will write for him two types of protections. One, the protection from the hellfire, and the second protection from hypocrisy. So our deen, Allah has made everything for us. All that we need is to enjoy it. That is why we always have to pray for Allah to strengthen our hearts. And then we have to pray that Allah keep us on the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam always make dua and say, "Ya muqallib al-qulub," the one who turns the hearts. Thabbit qalbi. Make me, my heart, stay firm on the way of deen. The heart, iman, is like the clothes we wear. When you feel sweat, you sweat and then do what? You remove it. That is when you commit sin. It's just as you remove it from your body. When you make tawbah, it's also returned on you. So the best we can do is to follow the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is the only way that we can succeed. So brothers and sisters in Islam, those who are studying and those who are working, I know each and every one of us has something to do. You leave everything and come for the sake of Allah, then wallah, you have so much rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But all that you have to do is to make sure that you observe the rules. When you are in Jum'ah, don't try to climb over people. I asked the brother to come because I saw him here from the beginning and he was going to make wudu. He has to come back because he came in the first period. But if you come in the last period, don't jump over people. These are said in hadith for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You sit at anywhere that you get. And while the imam is making khutbah, you don't have to speak at all. You can talk to the imam. The imam can make mistake in his reading. He can make mistake in a hadith. Talk to him. Correct him. He's a human being. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when the imam feeds you, feed him. Meaning that when he is also reading or doing anything that he goes wrong, tell him, Imam, no, it's like this. This is the deen of Islam. He doesn't have to say, who are you? No. All that he has to do is say, Allah, make blessing to you, and then we all continue. That is how Islam is. No one knows better, and no one knows than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وأخيرا يا أيها الإخوة جزاكم الله خير على ما قدمتم. الآن نحن نستمر ونطلب منكم بقي فقط 800 يورو حتى ندفع لهذا الشهر. قد دفعنا 1300 والآن بقي 800 لهذا الشهر.